folks. I want to talk about these migrants. I'm going to read that Magna Carta in a second. Migrants is on their way into the United States of America, and they still flooding the southern border. Check it out.
Happening right now, cities along the southern border are bracing for a massive migrant caravan making its way through Mexico. 2,000 migrants who crossed into southern Mexico on Sunday say time is of the essence, saying they're afraid of asylum changes under a new president come January, worried that this is their last chance to get into the country. News Nation's Jorge Ventura has the latest from San Antonio this morning. Jorge, I'm curious how these cities are now preparing for another new migrant surge.
Good morning, Mark. Yeah, so this caravan is around 2,000 migrants. It's on its way north right now to the U.S.-Mexico border. And officials across Texas say they are in active alert, including officials in El Paso. Now, officials in El Paso are adding that they are tracking that caravan's movement and are in active conversation with Mexican authorities. Many migrants are now viewing this as kind of their last chance to make it into the United States and seek asylum. With that upcoming election, migrants are expected that with a Trump administration, with that possibly of winning in November, that the Trump administration could introduce more of those hardline immigration policies and cracking down on asylum, but also ending that CBP-1 Act, which Mexican officials say now migrants are growing very impatient with, and say that we could possibly see even more of these smaller groups come here to the U.S. Now, right now, Marky.
Think about that for a second, y'all. Listen to what they're saying. Now, we know what that CBP-1 VH or whatever it is, migrant parole program is, and we know that the Biden administration, which includes Kamala Harris, put that into place in order to try to upend what we see happening in these cities. Think about what they're saying to y'all right now. They're saying that the migrant crisis is in full swing because they fear that they will not be able to walk into this country illegally anymore when Trump becomes president of the United States of America. They are paying attention to American politics because even they know the difference between Trump and Kamala Harris. Are y'all hearing what I'm telling y'all? Because we act like we idiots over here. Everybody is confused, and I see all of these people on TikTok vote blue because I don't know, I don't like Trump. Think about what we talking about. Are you telling me that illegal immigrants, again, I'm cool with people that migrate over to here legally. You're telling me that there are illegal immigrants that are paying attention and is more purposeful when it comes to participating and capitalizing off of the election that's coming up because they know the difference and they understand a life and death situation that comes along with. They understand a life and death situation that comes along with and how fortunes can change. Families can absolutely capitalize off the American system. They are more participatory in our American election and intentional with their actions. Baby, baby, can you shut these doors, please? This one and that one. This one over there. They're more intentional with their actions than us over here in the United States of America. So when I see people that tell me that they don't participate in the election process, I just say to myself, how stupid, not even ignorant. Because if I say ignorant, then that would give you an excuse to say that you didn't know any better. If y'all just now getting into here, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. If it's more than your first time being here, feel free to subscribe because this is what we do every day. And I don't miss. We have people over here in the United States of America that will say that it doesn't make sense for us to vote and my vote don't count. But it's people that's overseas capitalizing off of your ignorance and they paying attention. And even though they can't vote, they say, listen, this is our last chance. This is possibly our last chance to take advantage of this system. And we have people here in the United States of America that A, don't vote, B, are not informed, C, don't even know what's happening on a local level, and then D, completely ignore the fact that even immigrants, even people overseas know that we have the most relaxed system ever in their lifetime and in history. And they saying, listen, we was procrastinating, but we gonna have to go over here and get over to the United States of America. And we not even sneaking. We walking in a whole caravan. We're walking. We're walking hundreds of miles to the United States of America before November 5th, before January 20th, before the vice president can certify the election to make sure that we get into the United States of America and take advantage of the taxpayer system that's going to make sure that we got good lives. Interesting.
It's unclear if that migrant group would head to El Paso or another entry point here in Texas, like McAllen. But officials say they are expecting that group to start making that way closer once they kind of reach Mexico City. We'll kind of see what direction they head to. But El Paso saying they are in active communication with Mexican officials at the moment, tracking that group headed to the U.S.-Mexico border, Marky.
Yeah, and this group calling themselves God Guides Us. Yeah, it will be interesting to see, what they look like, where all they're coming from. What's been the reaction from leaders here at home, Jorge?
So News Nation's border team, we did obtain an exclusive statement from GOP Homeland Security Committee on this caravan saying, quote, this is from Chairman Mark Green saying, quote, it's quite simple, would-be border crossers know that their best chance to be released into American communities is under the open border policies of President Biden and his border czar Vice President.
Listen to what the GOP Homeland Security Committee, Mark Green, says. The chairman is quite simple, would-be border crossers know that their best chance to be released into American communities is under the open border policies of Joe Biden and his borders are Vice President Kamala Harris.
President Kamala Harris. He added that in his view, the crisis won't end until there's a change in policy and immigration laws are fully enforced. President
Oh, so that means that you don't need an agreement. You don't need an agreement. You just need to enforce the laws that are already on the books. Hold on one second, y'all.
Biden and Vice President Harris continue to defend their record on border security. President Trump saying if he wins, he'll carry out the largest deportation operation in American history using the National Guard and local police. Now, while Vice President Harris stresses the need to keep limits on asylum and close those loopholes, some have earned that pathway to citizenship. And Mark, I've been in contact with my Mexican sources who say they do expect for this caravan to actually be broken up around Mexico City. They expect for Mexican authorities to crack down on that group. So we probably won't see that big caravan all arriving all at once.
So y'all listen to what they saying. Hold on, listen. Let me replay that for y'all.
To actually be broken up around Mexico City. They expect for Mexican authorities to crack down on that group. So we probably won't see that big caravan all arriving all at once, but we'll probably see those smaller groups start to make it to the way to the U.S. border after that crack.
They're depending on Mexican authorities to break up the group so that you won't see them all at once over here trying to cross over into the United States of America and get over here before Trump become president. What is this country becoming, man? And y'all sitting here listening to this woman that stands on a pulpit that don't even acknowledge God, that won't even say the name of Jesus, that 100% supports the things that's worse for your community. Y'all are voting for your own demise. Y'all are voting for your own demise. And you okay with it? You okay with these people that are unvetted to flood your schools, and they are going to be sitting right next to your sons and your daughters off of your taxpayer dime and the higher property taxes that y'all raising inside of y'all cities. They're combining shelters. They call it a unified sheltering system over in Chicago. They just signed a $100 million extension on their staffing companies. Chicago was in shambles. Property taxes is going up. You just seen a woman that was on my show yesterday. She said that, man, this city is the most corrupt city on the face of the earth. And y'all continue to vote the same way every single time. I almost feel like I'm in a twilight zone. This is impossible. How? How is this even, look, how is this even close? How do we even have polls, regardless of how wrong they are, that's saying that it's a dead heat? This should be a blowout. This should, after what y'all experienced over the last 3.5 years, can you imagine 8 more years of this, of not enforcing border policy, of people feeling like they could just come into this country and do whatever they want when they want to do it, of more small cities and towns being overran and them automatically overnight becoming the majority of the population in your city to then determine what happens in your elections and your school systems? This is crazy, man. This is insane. But your party, your vote, do what you feel is best.